After making the playoffs for the first time in franchise history and notching a victory against the Cincinnati Bengals, the Texans are poised to be even better in the 2012 campaign. One of the major keys to the Texans' success, even in the face of adversity, was Arian Foster, and we are so happy to have him on with us right now. Arian, congrats on the new contract. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, man, I can't complain, man. I'm just enjoying life a little bit right now, and I'm just very grateful for everything that I have, man.
Namaste.
Namaste, my friend.
Arian, what's up? This Bun B, man.
What's going on, bro?
How you doing, boss?
Can't complain, man.
First of all, again, congratulations, man, for, of course, this well-deserved contract, man. You know, we're very happy to have you here with this team for the next 5 years. Hopefully, 5 more after that. Of course, I think, like myself, most of the guys up here saw you, at the press conference getting tearful and talking about the fruit basket. I heard that Mom's got the fruit basket this week.
Yeah, she did, man. She did. There's kind of a running joke going on. My family for a long time, man. I was just a playful little kid telling everybody what I was going to get them when I played in the NFL. And, fortunately, I was able to make some of my dreams come true, man. And I thought it would be funny to hold true to that promise.
Well, hey, Arian, your humbleness and approach to life is very inspiring, not only to myself, my kids, my family. I got to ask you, where did your inspiration to be such a great person and your appreciation for what you have achieved so far in your career come from?
Well, I think all of that kind of stems from the fact that, I grew up studying like great people, like the Mother Teresa's, the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Marcus Garveys, like great historical figures. I was fortunate to grow up in a household where history was a part of what we grew up in. And the other big thing was kind of, being a humanitarian for all people. And I think once you take things into perspective and realize that, the country that we live in is a very fortunate and a very wealthy country. And we have a lot of opportunity here. And, you look at other countries around the world that are really in poverty and really in famine and disease and things like that. I think that you put things into perspective, and it's really like, if you're making $35,000 a year, you're still in the top 5% of the world in wealth. Mm-hmm. I know it's hard to follow here because rent is a lot, but it's just I feel like we should be fortunate for what we have instead of always like complaining about we don't, because running water is a commodity in another country, and it's not here. We take it for granted. We take taking showers for granted. We take being able to go to McDonald's and buy a burger for $1 for we take all these things for granted, and sometimes we just gotta count our blessings, man.
Well, Arian, myself included, I grew up, not really having much myself. It doesn't matter what color I was, what creed I was, what religion I was. And my dad still to this day works his ass off to provide for my mom after I'm a grown-ass man. I got my own kids now. And he said today that the coolest thing about you was the fact you got your mom that fruit basket where you could get her a house, you could get her a car, but it was the fact that you had that vision and that dream when you were a kid to get your mom fruit basket, and that was the first thing you got her. Props to you, sir.
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you a question, Arian. In a sport that is as violent as football, you've always made your game and your personal mantra centered around peace. We all know the Namaste. Seeking that peace in the middle of, basically an ocean of violence, you know what I'm saying? For one, I'm curious if you feel like that really helps improve your game. And two, I wonder if you've ever had any issues with anybody saying like, yo, you're too peaceful, man. You need to get out there and be aggressive. I've just always been curious about how Namaste works in the locker room.
That's a good question, man. Actually, I think that, my game is kind of more of a finesse. Like I'm not a violent runner, and I'm not a violent runner because when I was young, I was taught, running backs don't have longevity in their careers, and so a lot of running backs, get scrutinized if they step out of bounds if they're running and things like that. But you're preserving your career. You know, instead of taking that one extra hit, because those things start to add up over the years. And so, you know, I kind of took the motto that, you know, I'd rather step out of bounds now rather than go ahead and try to prove a point. Like, I'm in the NFL. I don't have anything else to prove.
Arian. Well, listen, I remember hearing about your performance against Claremont High School, which is my old neighborhood in San Diego, when you played for Mission Bay High School right there in the shadow of PB. Now, you know, I don't want to get into San Diego talk right now, but my wife did run the 976 Cafe right there on Grand, so we were very familiar with where you went to high school and followed your career. But you know what? Once you had that big game against Mission Bay, against Claremont, was that the moment when you realized you were going to be a running back going forward in your football career?
I remember that game, man. I had 321 yards.
Yeah, you did. Exactly. Yeah. And I saw it on the front page of the paper right there in PB.
Yeah, that was a good game, man. But not really, man. I think when I knew I was going to be a running back in the town, really corny and really sweet there, man. But when I knew I was going to be a running back was I started football when I was 7 years old, and they didn't have a 7-year-old division where I grew up. They had an 8-year-old division, and so but they let me play anyway. And I stepped out on the field and I was scared. You know, I was 7 years old. I was scared. You know, I didn't want to play against the older kids. And the coach gave me the ball for the first time. And when he gave me that ball for the first time, I just felt everything. You know, because I grew up with a lot of nonsense. I grew up around a lot of nonsense. You know, with my family and my neighborhood and all of that. And once he gave me the ball, like I felt like there was this overwhelming sense of nostalgia, and there was this overwhelming sense of, you know, everything that was bothering me at the time, it just went away. And I think from then on, I kind of knew that's what I wanted to do with my life.
Arian, it's so funny you brought up growing up with a bunch of nonsense, because you remember Andrew and I, we called the charity softball game last year when you and your brother won co-MVPs. And you know, we remember you playing under the alias. But you know, what other sports did you play growing up? Because you showed that you and your brother could go out there and play with the best of them in softball.
Oh yeah, you know, I did my thing in the softball league, man. You know, you know what I'm saying? But I think I did more basketball and track than baseball. I did a lot of basketball, and you couldn't tell me I was going to be a point guard right before high school. Point guard in the NBA. That was one of my dreams too. To just be a point guard, but mostly basketball and track.
Nice.
All right, now, Arian, it's Andrew. I know that you went to Tennessee and you're probably big into the SEC football, but I wanted to get your take on what's the current state of Tennessee football and what do you think about Jarek Dooley now that he's there? Because he's been getting a lot of heat.
You know, I think that he just needs time, you know, and I can't really make an assessment on him because I've never really talked to the man in depth and things like that. But I think any coach at least needs 4 years at a Division I college, because his first year he's recruiting his guys. Those first 3 years, those aren't really his guys per se. You know, those were other coaches recruiting. So I think you need 4 years to really prove, you know, what you can do as a coach as far as recruiting and scheming and all of that, because those first 3 years you're just inheriting guys.
Do you still stay in touch with most of those Tennessee guys that you went to school with that were on your teams?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you still stay in touch with your old teammates from those Tennessee teams?
Oh, absolutely. I when I was a college man, I was fortunate enough to meet some people that were my lifelong brothers, man. And you know, I still keep in touch with them, and we're still close today. And we meet up at least 2 or 3 times a year, and just, you know, chop it up with them and just see how you know, I check on some of their family members and things like that. You know, it's a brotherhood you form when you're in college.
I'm glad that Andrew brought up Tennessee, Arian. You are an undrafted free agent, and I want to know, you know, not only for the kids listening, but for all of our guests here at Sports Wrap Live here tonight at Junction Bar and Grill, how did you stay motivated to keep your dream alive to become the all-pro franchise running back that you've become this week in getting the contract from the Texans? Tell us, you know, how do you stay motivated in those times when you're trying to just make a break in the NFL?
Well, I had a daughter, man. And once you have a seed, anybody that has a child
got 3 myself.
Yeah, man. Like, once you get that, once you look in their eyes and they look at you, and you're responsible for their meal 3 times a day, and you're responsible for the clothes on the back, and you're responsible for the shelter that you have to provide them. It just changes your perspective on life. It no longer becomes about you, and it's all about them. Like any kind of income that I have, I rarely spend it on myself. It's always going towards her and her future. And I think the more that people understand that is that the income that you have is less about you and more about our future, and not just my child or your child, but everybody else's child. And I think once you take that approach, man, it'll make this place a funner place to live.
Hey, Arian, including the invisible children out there, I just got to mention that because there's been a lot of buzz this week with the Kony 2012. I know you're a part of that. I know you believe in that movement. Our sponsor here, DiamondSupplyCo.com, they just put out a shirt for that whole movement, and I know Bun wants to chime in on that as well. Just about
what movement was that? I couldn't hear you. What movement was that?
The whole Kony 2012 movement. You're a big part of the world movement.
Absolutely. I got a chance to catch that video, and it's a problem that has been going on for 30 years, and I'm glad that the awareness is finally coming out about it. But you have a lot of people. My problem with people is that they like to jump on fast, and right now this is kind of a fad.
Sure.
In the sense, whereas people are going to mention it for a while, but not really do anything about it. And if you're doing something about it, I respect that. But if you're just mentioning it just to mention it, I think you're just kind of hopping on the bandwagon, because we have things here in America that go on also. There's trafficking in America that happens, daily. But
absolutely.
Nobody talks about that and brings awareness to any of that. And I think that we need to start realizing that it's not just overseas. We have problems here in America. And if everybody takes care of home, then it'll give a kind of a blueprint to how to live. It'll radiate. Absolutely. We're already one of the most watched countries in America, and if you start setting a positive example, then hopefully the world will follow suit. And if not, that's okay. But at least we know we're doing what's right at home. So I'm all for it. Absolutely, I'm all for it.
Arian, are there any particular causes right now that you're concerned with? Are there anything in particular that you see in a state of a situation, something either in America or internationally that's been on your mind lately outside of the Kony 2012?
Absolutely, man. I'm really passionate, and now that I'm fortunate enough to help, I have a lot of plans to help inner city kids in this city and where I'm from. But I'm really passionate about single mothers. I really am. And I didn't even grow up in a single parent household. I had my father when I was growing up, but I just think right now my sister is a single parent. So maybe that's why I'm so passionate about it. But there's a lot of single mothers out there that are working tirelessly just to put food on the table. And I think that, I know that, I'm waiting on a couple things to fall through, but I'm going to help a lot of single mothers in the Houston area, in the Albuquerque, New Mexico area. And
round of applause.
Absolutely. Big round of applause for number 23, Arian Foster, as we head into the bottom of the hour. Arian, can we talk some football now?
Yeah, I'll do that too a little bit.
All right, let's talk a little football. The power is obviously shifting in the AFC South with the departure of Peyton Manning. Tennessee is still rebuilding. Jacksonville's future in the city is still uncertain as LA builds their new stadium. Give us some insight into the attitude of the Texans organization. You've been around there this week, obviously, with everything going on with your contract. Give us some insight into the locker room, the coaching staff, and the ownership going into next season, as you guys are, quote unquote, the clear-cut favorites to win the division in consecutive years.
Yep.
We're fortunate to have a coach that has a mindset that I really believe in. And his mindset is, it really doesn't matter who we play, because if we play our game, if our defense plays at the top of his game and our offense plays at the top of his game and our special teams plays at the top of his game, we feel like there's not a team in this league that can handle it. We really feel like that. We really believe that. I believe like that, and my teammates believe like that. So it doesn't matter who's rebuilding. It doesn't matter who's doing this. It doesn't matter who's doing that, because this is the NFL, and everybody has talent on every single team. Guys get paid a lot of money to play this game. So if you're not on the top of your game, you could get beat by anybody. So worry about yourself. Worry about what you can contribute to your ball club, and everything will pan out for itself, you know. But, you know, we have high expectations for ourselves going into the next season. You know, I think that this last season was a great stepping stone for the future of this organization. You know, we got 2 games deep into the playoffs, and we got to the divisional round in the playoffs, and that's great, because this city hasn't seen a playoff game since the Oilers, and I think it was like 90-something. So it was a great step in the right direction for this organization. But you know, understand that we were still disappointed because we had higher goals and higher expectations. Now, if we stay healthy, you know, I believe that we can accomplish any goal that we set out to do.
And what about you personally, Arian? What are you personally looking forward to in this next season? What are you hoping to accomplish?
Great question.
You know, you play this game for one reason, in my opinion. You play it to win.
Yeah.
But another big reason that you play this game is to have your name remembered. Honestly. You know, when I was growing up, I remember when I was 13, 14 years old, and I was running hills, and I was doing things that a lot of guys my age weren't doing. And I remember thinking, you know, like, I want to leave my footprints on this game. Like I want people to remember my name and speak of me after generations when I'm gone. Like when you talk about Barry Sanders, when you talk about Jim Brown, when you talk about Walter Payton, you talk about, you know, you talk about all these guys that have just left an impact on this game.
That's
Not
right.
only how they carry themselves on the field, but also off. And I think that's what I want to continue to build on. You know, I think I've had a strong showing in the NFL so far, but it's not about what you've done, it's about what you're going to do. And that's why my mindset is I haven't proven anything yet.
Arian, you know how strong The Rock is in H-Town, and we are so glad that you are locked up through the prime of your career. But I got to ask you something before we get into your top 3 sneakers of all time, and I gave you a little warning shot on Twitter today.
That's right.
At Arian Foster, just so you'd be prepared. Tell us about the music you like to rock before a game, or when you're chilling. You know, right now, the off season, you're chilling out. Does the music set the tone for your performance in the gym or on the field? Because we got a very special guest that is going to jump on the line with us right now, Arian. So give us your answer, and then I'm going to bring him on.
Honestly, man, I listen to anything. Like, really, I listen to anything. Like, you know, I put out a tweet yesterday. I put out a tweet yesterday that said, "I just good music by Butterflies and Goosebumps."
Very true. I saw that tweet.
Yeah, and so anything that moves me. So I've listened to anything from country to pop, to old school like Earth, Wind and Fire, to Parliament, to
Ready?
You know, Patsy Cline, to Tupac, to your man Bun B, to any kind of music that I feel like that resonates with my life and my belief systems.
Arian.
What's up?
Let me ask you something. Do you listen to the people's champ, Paul Wall? Because he is on the line right now, and we all know that Paul Wall goes hard for his city. No sleep till Houston. What's up, Paul?
What it do?
There it is.
Of course, Paul Wall, you know, Houston hip-hop legend. You know, I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Also recorded a song for you guys, Arian. Recorded the Houston song along with Slim Thug and Chameleon there, latest Zero. You know what I'm saying? How did the Texans feel about that song?
I don't know. How you doing? How you doing, Paul Wall, man? By the way, I didn't get a chance to officially introduce myself.
What it do? Congratulations on that contract.
I appreciate that, bro. I really do. But I don't know if y'all ever had a chance to go to a game personally, but you know that song plays in our warm-up mixed every single game. So that's what we feel about it. You know, we appreciate the love for sure.
Hey, Paul, we all know that it's no sleep till Houston. You just dropped that new project with DJ Drama. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that so we can get Arian a copy of it?
Yeah, for sure. I dropped it yesterday. It's all original, all free. I dropped it available for free download. People can download it for free. We also got some hard copies. We just giving them all away. It's all free for the fans. And we put the song we made for the Texans, we put it on there. We put the one with me and Slim Thug. We put the one with Zero, that version on there.
There it is, man. Well, hey, you know what? I asked Arian what kept him hungry as he signs one of the richest deals in the NFL for a running back. Paul Wall, what keeps you motivated even after all these years and years of success and riches without getting too comfortable in the game?
I mean, just my love for music. Growing up, this is what I wanted to do. So the opportunity God gave me to be able to do what I want to do and have people support me and love me and be fans of me is an incredible honor, but it's also an obligation. It made me want to step up my game every time I step in the booth. I got to come with it the best I can come, and I got to come hard with it, and I got to step my game up, and continue to grow. And then you see other artists, new artists. I love the new artists that are coming out of Houston, and you see these artists that they help motivate me too, because they make me want to be a better me. And seeing the youth come, the new artists, and seeing them do their thing, it really is motivating. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what's keeping me going.
Paul, that is a perfect segue to my next question for Arian Foster, because Arian, now that you are signed for the next 5 years, you are going to be a go-to guy. You're going to be a veteran on this Texans team. What is it going to take for you guys to continue your success and take it one step further next year?
I think it's just like anything that you want to have success with is if you get complacent, I think whatever you do in life will pass you by. So the goal is not to be complacent, and the goal is to always continue to get better. It's either getting better or you're getting worse. So it's to work. For myself, I'm going to work like I'm trying to earn my starting job, because that's what I have to do. I have to prove to my coaching staff that they have enough confidence in me that if they put me out there, then I'm going to produce. And I've taken on that obligation for my coaching staff, my teammates, in this city.
Does your outlook on life help you keep your peace of mind in a season that your performance coincides with how the team chooses to value you? That help to keep you focused in a season like this, where you're obviously, and I'll just say this myself because you probably can't, in a season where you're performing, far above the value that the team is paying you. How do you keep your wits about you and stay focused and still be able to go out and perform with that kind of pressure on your back?
Well, I think it's kind of like what I said earlier, man. Like, when I first got into this game, when I first started playing when I was 7, I didn't get any money to play this game. Like, I wasn't able to get paid, and that was okay with me then.
Right.
And, like, now that I'm able to get paid, to me it's like an added bonus, and it's extreme. Like, I'm very fortunate, and that's why I always extend my gratitude every time I get the chance. Is because a lot of people lose their passion throughout their life. Like, how many people just ask them on their first love of what they did? I'm very fortunate to be able to be my first love. So, like, money does not motivate me, man. It just really doesn't. I think if everybody takes an approach to their life, like, if you do what you love with a passion,
you'll never work a day in your life.
I think, money will come. Like, you won't have to worry about it.
That's right.
Because if you're doing what you love, you're gonna fulfill that need. I know hundreds of businessmen that are miserable but are very well off financially, but they're miserable because they don't what they do doesn't satisfy them, but they can keep the lights on. But that's not what life is about, man. Life is about smiles. Life is about barbecuing with your family. Life is about little things like that you can't replace with the Gucci bag, man.
Arian, you know who's always smiling? Paul Wall, because you always see that grill shining, baby.
Namaste, my brother.
Namaste. There it is. Hey, Paul, tell us real quick. Tell us about the project with DJ Drama and how that came to be.
Hey, Drama's been my homeboy for a long time. I've known him for a while. And a couple of his gangster grills he put out before, I screwed and chopped them. Like Jeezy Trap or Die, the T.I. Down with the King, and one of the Lil Wayne's, one of the dedication ones. These are 3 real big gangster grill mixtapes that Drama put out that sold over 1 million copies just on mixtapes. So you know, it was me hooking up with drama. It's been a long time coming for me to do my whole mixtape with them, and it's just something I've been working on. And I got with G-Luck and B-Don. They produced the mixtape, and we just got in the studio. We started off with me and my boy Goo and Slim Thug, and we got in there. And matter of fact, the Texans song we did, that was like the second day we went in the studio.
That was the inspiration behind the entire project, man. That's beautiful.
I ain't mad at that.
The Texans are handling business like that, you know, we can't help but try to, you know, that motivated us, man, to really want to step up for the city, too, because they're going so hard representing for the city. We like, man, you know, we got to follow suit.
That's right. Let's get behind Matt Schaub. We don't need Peyton Manning here. We get behind Matt Schaub. Matt Schaub, you stay healthy. Arian, you good to go. We got that defense that's bringing it. J.J. Watt and the boys on the other side of the ball. Hey, thanks, champ. You are welcome to join us anytime you want to talk about H-Town sports or debut any music. And, of course, namaste to Arian Foster for riding with us tonight. It's been a pleasure, fellas. This means a lot to us on Sports Rap Live.
I really appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Man.
Welcome anytime.
Anytime,
Both
baby.
of you guys. Y'all put it down for your city.
And big congrats on the new contract, Arian.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, G. I think we should take it to break with a little bit of music right now. I know we got a little time to spare. I got to run off to the men's room. But when we get back, we finally going to have Kodomo on for our Sneak of the Week. And then we're going to have a little soccer talk.
Sneak of the Week.
With the boy, Luis, at the top of the hour. You get top of the hour shine tonight because I think you got the Dynamo coach coming on. Oh, he's nodding his head yes. So you better bring it.
Baller.
Kodomo, you better bring it. Bun B, thank you for bringing it. Andrew
Hey,
Martinez, DJ Gons, happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Been that kind of show tonight. Thanks to the Rapp Pack here at Junction Bar and Grill. Y'all are deep tonight. I'm loving it. Thanks to the Rockets for being out here. All the great artists that Paul Wall was just talking about.
So far, so good, baby. It's an incredible show.
Hey, we keep going, Bun. We keep going to the Final Four, to Gumball, until the fall, until next year. We'll see you guys right back here on Sports Rap Live.
MJ Wet, clear. I'm here with you, talking college pro.
Johnny, what we got?